Hello, my name is Jimmy Vegas and welcome to this, the 13th in a series of video tutorials for Unity 3D. Okay, so in the last episode, if you remember, we created this script just here, which enabled us to go inside our houses. So if you remember, our house we built underneath the terrain, just here. So if we go in closer, like so. Helps if you use the right tool. Okay, so when we built it, all we could do is go inside. The problem we have now is we need to get back outside. So to do that, we have to enable ourselves to walk into this door and then end up outside. The lucky thing is we can reuse this script just here. So if you right click and open, or you can double click or just hit enter, it should open in Mono Develop. There we go. Okay, so all you need to do at this point when it's opened is just copy the entire script, Control C, head back to Unity, right click down here, create, and JavaScript. We'll call this one Go Outside and hit enter. Okay, so either right click and open or double click again on this script. And it'll open in Mono Develop. Notice here we have tabs. Go inside and go outside. Make sure you're on this one just here. Everything there, delete. And then paste the script that you copied earlier. Here, where it's got orange, where we set the tag as go inside, we'll change that to go outside and save. So all that means is now we have virtually the same script, just two different tags. So go inside and go outside. So back into Unity, if we go over here, and this door here, just drag, sorry, not the door, our player, I apologize. If you just drag and drop the go outside script onto our player, and then this door, if you remember, untagged, add tag. And in this one, element 1, type in go outside. There we go. So heading back to the door, set the tag as go outside. You also need to click this just here, is trigger. If you remember, we did that in our entrance block on the outside. So if you tick is trigger. After that, if we go to our player and scroll down, you will notice down here go inside and go outside script. So we need to set our target just there. So to do that, we will just head upwards and turn ourselves around a little. There we go. And let's just check. We had an enter block right there. So what we will do is we will go game object, create other, and I tell you what, no, we won't create a cube. We will create an empty one just to be safe. So this game object there, right click, rename, and put exit house 001. and then drag that exit house 001 onto enter block just here. Now all that does is it attaches our empty game object to our enter block, which is just here. So if you click on that, over here on the position, type in 0, 0, 0. And I'm hoping it's right there. Just go up a little. So all we need to do now is just pull out and pull upwards to about there. And this game object we will actually rename, because we didn't rename last time, which was my fault, I apologise. And we will just call this one enter house 001. All that was where we go to for our first script. Okay, so heading back to our player in the hierarchy, click, and down here, remember, target. All we need to do is drag this over here onto there. So now that makes the target for our go outside script our empty game object that we created just here. So now, let me just mute. If we play, hopefully with any luck, we will be able to go inside our house. And then if we walk towards our door, outside. So let's check that again. We can go inside our house. Have a look at the chain there. Have a look at the block. And then head back towards the door and go outside. Now that script, or those two scripts, I should say, can be applied to virtually anything within the game. It's kind of like what you would call maybe a teleport script. So it's it can apply to literally anything. It could be applied to the top of a mountain, to suddenly warp you to some other place on the map. Anything really. Okay, so now as we've finished our script to go outside our house, we're now going to move on. And over here, there is still a very, very empty, barren wasteland. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce you to the asset store. Now the asset store is a place that you can get pretty much anything for your game. However, some things you are required to pay for. So for now, if you go to Window and click on Asset Store, you can also get to it in your browser. You don't necessarily need to do it through Unity, which is just here. And this is the address that you will need: assetstore.unity3d.com. And all this that you see here should be mirrored when it's loaded within Unity. So we'll just give it a second to load up. And there we go. Okay, before you go any further, you will need to log in. So when you first downloaded Unity, you should have been prompted to create a Unity account. It is the same account that you can use to log in just here. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go to what we want for now. So if you go to the very top here and type in desert and hit enter, it will quickly do a search and come back with all the results you need or want. So just a quick cover over this. As you can see, most things on here do cost. Now there are free things on the asset store, and we will be using the free things. Everything in this tutorial is free. You've no need to pay for anything. Like if you want to download that for $35, if you think it looks nice, if you think that could be useful within your game, these objects that it supplies, then by all means you can pay the $35. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so going back to our results of desert, if you go down to this one here, Sandstone Desert Rocks Free, which is just this one, and the publisher is Funky Llama. Here, mine says import, as I've already got this asset for this tutorial. Yours will say download. So if you hit download, and it may take a little time to download, the size it's only 251 megabytes, but if you are on a slow connection, it may take a little longer. But generally speaking, it won't take too long at all. So yeah, that is the asset store. Feel free to have a look around. If you want to buy things for your game, like I say, it's entirely up to you. But everything we will be using is completely free. So when it's downloaded, you'll be given the import menu. Just click on import and then it'll import everything. And after that, you can just close the asset store. So as you can see, I already have it just here. When you import it, it will give you this folder with all these subfolders with models, prefabs, and assets and textures. So firstly, what we'll do is if you click on textures just here, you'll have all these textures just here. And the one we want right now is this one here. So if you click on terrain, and over here, click on the paintbrush, and then edit textures, add texture, and you'll remember this where we can add our textures just here. So what we'll do is we will drag and drop over here onto both, and then click add. And that doesn't want to work for some reason. Add texture. Let's try again, shall we? Add. And it doesn't want to work. Okay, not to worry. For now, we can resolve that a little. Oh, it might be because of the size. Okay, not to worry. We can resolve that in the next tutorial. It's not essential right now. In fact, we probably even don't need it. We already have this just here. So for now, if it does work for you, use this one. If it doesn't, we can use this one. So what we'll do is just over here, I'm going to create kind of a sandy looking area. Which, yeah, it's not too bad. I'm not going to create it too big, I don't think. Just a little, all this here. I'll tell you what, it helps if I increase the brush size a little. Let's really get that going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right to the edge, because on the edge here I'm going to create some quite large sand dunes to create the edge of the map. So maybe a little more sand just over here, and that'll do. Okay, next I'm going to actually create a few little sand dunes. Let's about there maybe. So 13 on your brush size, and ooh, just click. You'll get that happening, but don't worry too much. It's just Unity glitching on my machine. You probably won't get that, to be honest. So yeah, so all I'm doing here is just creating a few sand dunes. Create as many or as few as you want. It's entirely up to you. Okay, I'll leave mine like that just for now. Right, So if you remember, when we imported this, we want it for all the prefabs. Now the prefabs are basically just the models we want to use in our desert. Now within it we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice little rocks, and it really is a case of just dragging and dropping wherever you want. So let's zoom in on that. You can probably stack a few rocks on top of each other if you wanted to. You can put them merge into the ground like so. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate that rock number 6 and just pull it up on top like that. Take rock 4 and just put it maybe about there. And let's take, I don't know, rock 11 and just put it over here. As you can see, now we have a few loose ends in our hierarchy. So if you just collapse house inside, let's go to game object, create empty, and we'll call this desert area 001. And all I'm going to do is drag and drop all our rocks into desert area 001. And the last one. So we have rock 4, we have rock 6, 11 and 17 in. We don't have 15, so let's put 15 on there, over there maybe, and let's pull it into the ground a little. Right, what I'm going to do now is, to make things easier, I'm just going to take our player all the way over here into our desert area now, because this is where we'll be for the next few tutorials. So if we press play, and just in this little desert area you can see the desert and our rocks just there. So we'll also be using these rocks to create kind of a little cave maybe. Let's just drag this over here now. Yes, I think we'll create some sort of little cave and then quite possibly move on to enemies, as I know it's something people have wanted for a while, but our world wasn't really big enough for enemies. So what I'll be looking at, maybe not next tutorial, maybe number 14 or 15, is some spiders. Eventually we will put a few spiders within our desert, and we'll see where we can go from there. But for now, in the meantime, if you want to play around with these rocks, move them around, create more, change the rotation like this one. Let's change the rotation on, let's see, the x-axis. Let's change to 90. Tell you what, it would look better if it was 280. There we go. Let's stand that rock up like that. A little bit slanty. So let's change it again. Let's change the let's change it to, let's see, what would look good. 270? Yes, I think we'll have it as 270. Let's duplicate it again. Oops. And let's put it about there. And let's duplicate another one of these big ones. And let's just stick it on top to create some sort of rock arch, as it were. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I think that looks okay. So we'll be using this style of modelling of these rocks to create a little cave for ourselves. But that will be in the next tutorial. So for now, we'll just close up our hierarchy. and close up everything down here on our assets just to tidy it up, and we'll leave this tutorial there for now. So like I say, next episode we'll be looking at creating a cave for our player to go in, and possibly some enemies inside. And we'll also be looking at sorting out the edge of our map just here, putting our big sand dunes over here, and just putting some mountains just to cover it all up, just so as it doesn't look barren and empty. We may even extend our desert outwards this way. We'll just see how it goes. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial.